Jesus.
Hey beauties, welcome back to another video. How are you? How are you doing? I know it's been a while since we really sat and talked with each other, but how are you guys doing? Drop down in the comments. Let me know how your week has been, how you're feeling going into this new week. And if you have any prayer requests, you can always feel free to drop them in the comment section below as well. Or my DMs are always open, so you guys can feel free to DM me on Instagram or maybe even TikTok and let me know what's happening. How can your sister be of help to you? Just let me know. I am here and I am willing because you guys are my friends. Like at this point, we are besties, okay? We are besties. But anyway, today's video, I wanted to actually address my students because I know that it is coming upon that time when people are getting ready to go back to school, whether it's prep school, high school, college, university, continuing ed, whatever the case may be. It's that time. And I mean, as somebody who knows what the back to school anxiety can feel like, I know how you feel, sis or bro. I know how you feel. All right, but today I wanted to just share with you a few tips on how we can ensure that going back to school, we are not going to throw away all the faith um, principles or habits that we would have developed over the summer. The summers, yes, it's a fun time, but a lot of us take that time also to build out our routines and things like that. So I want to make sure that we don't completely throw that away, okay? Because it's important and it's going to be important for your success. So I just wanted to share with you guys a few tips that I thought might be helpful. And straight out the bat, the very first tip is to make sure that you find ways to stay grounded in your faith. Morning and evening worship, they are a priority. If you can sneak in a midday prayer time, whatever the case may be, they are priority. And I don't know, for those of us who might be going to Christian institutions, guys, speaking from example, do not skip the worship sessions, okay? They are important. Yes, they might seem a little bit tedious and unnecessary now, but those are some of the things that are gonna really help you stay grounded in your faith, especially at the university level where there are so many different distractions. Yes, it's available at other levels as well, but for most people in university, you're not around your parents or your guardians or whatever strict rules or faith person that will help you to stick along the straight and narrow. So it's gonna be really crucial for you to ensure that you are finding ways to stay grounded in your faith. All right. And I think I've said this before, guys, that worship is not just reading your Bible, doing a hour-long devotional time, kind of vibe. You can find ways to interject Jesus throughout your day. If you're going through a rough time, you can literally search on Google or in the Bible app or whatever for a verse that is relating to whatever situation you're going in or you're going through. You're in a class, you feel stressed out, just quickly find a Bible verse that will help to calm your spirit. Keep a song in your heart. There's so many songs out there that will just pop up in your mind at a moment's notice. Don't just brush it off. Take some time to really med the words, hum it in your heart, whatever the case may be, that can help you to stay connected to Jesus throughout your days, because this is going to be really important. The second tip that I have is to ensure that you are practicing Christian values and being a positive influence. And I know this might be hard. A lot of times as Christians, we tend to be bullied because of our faith in the school environment. But remember that it is your responsibility to reflect Jesus in your environment. So it's gonna be hard, but try to be kind, and respectful of other people's beliefs, their boundaries, their systems, especially if it is that you are going to have roommates at the university level, or even if you're going to like high school and you're one of those boarding schools. It's going to be important for you to learn to respect other people's boundaries. um, but once it is that you maintain this Christ-like character, it's going to be so much harder for people to like completely destroy your reputation. Because speaking from example, I remember when I was going to a particular university and I had a roommate who for some reason just didn't like me. She just didn't like me. And it's funny because she was rarely on dorm because she was a nursing student. So she was like rarely there. She was either always on class or rotation or something like that took her off campus, like even for months. Like she literally didn't sleep there sometimes, right? But the girl just never liked me. And I remember one time, like she came back on campus and she was there for probably like a couple weeks before her next rotation or whatever. And the girl just felt like she needed to try and slander me. And she went down to the dean and she was going on and on and on. And I remember the dean calling me down to the office and she was like, Ashleigh, I know this isn't you, but you know, I had to call you down here just to make it look like I did something. And I was like, why? Because anybody who knows Ashleigh knows that I am not somebody who's going to purposely go and torment anybody. Like, if you don't trouble me, I'm not trouble you. And even if you trouble me, I'm more than likely just gonna laugh in your face because I just don't have the energy. I'm not a fighter. I'm more likely to, lash out with my tongue, but the Lord has been working on my tongue. But like, honestly, I'm just gonna look at you and laugh and then be like, "No, okay, you done? Okay, moving on." Like, probably start blasting some music in your ears. Granted, back then I wasn't on my only gospel streak, so it might not have been Christian music, but regardless, like, I'm just not going to disrespect you and I'm not going to do anything that is going to misrepresent my character. Because as much as going to university, is a time when you're truly finding yourself and trying to explore exactly what it is that you like and so forth, there are just gonna be some principles that are so embedded in you that you can't get rid of them. Like, you, this is just the nature of who you are. Like, regardless of all your exploration and whatever, there are just some principles you're always gonna come back to. And so regardless, I'm just chill. So, you want to make sure that you stay true to those core principles even while you are out exploring. Because I'm not saying, you shouldn't explore, you shouldn't have your fun, but just remember to do so in a way that is not going to completely disrespect God or misrepresent Him. And I'm gonna be very frank, guys. Even if it's a case where you might not necessarily be at that place where you're saying, okay, I want to represent God 100%. Try to represent yourself and to some degree your parents, because a lot of us, even though growing up, you might not necessarily appreciate what your parents are trying to do or what they're saying to you to some degree. We all know that under the surface, like, we love our parents and we appreciate all that they're doing for us, and you don't necessarily want to just squander them name a road, right? So try to at least respect them, their name, the values that they have taught you and the values that you have accepted as who you are. Being respectful and kind and all that is definitely going to get you so much further in school, because you're just going to have the backative of the teachers, administration, other students, whatever the case may be, because they know that at the core you are a certain type of person. And when somebody is trying to bash you, then they're gonna be like, nah, you must got the wrong person, honey, because Ashleigh ain't like that. Okay, so yeah, just remember to be kind and to always try to have a positive attitude. The next point is to try and find a like-minded community. And this is going to be very important because these are the people that are going to be your ride and die. And especially for those persons who are at the university level, these friends might be the ones that you carry with you for the rest of your life. To some degree, also those who are going into high school or who are, in high school. Like, these people might just be the people that you have for the rest of your life. So you want to make sure that the people that you are associating with are people who share the same values, the same mindset that you do. And it might not necessarily be on a Christian standpoint, but just important values overall. Yes, having Christian community is very important, and I 100% recommend finding a Christian club or a Christian group on your campus. I know for us here in Jamaica, when I was going to one school, we had ADFEL, and at another school, we had clubs that were like specific to the various church conferences that we were a part of. So just find a group of people who can help you to stay grounded in your faith, help you to practice those Christian morals and values, because this is developing your character for the future. The characteristics that you develop now are going to determine how you operate when you decide to go find a job or when you decide to go to university, whatever the case may be. So you want to make sure that who you are surrounding yourself with actually speaks good of you, because them say if you associate with 3 idiots, you are going to be the fourth. If you associate with 3 broke-minded people, you're going to be the fourth. So if you associate with 3 hooligans, you're going to be the fourth. And you don't want to be a hooligan, because over here we are progressive people. Like, we are productive people. We want to make something out of our lives, okay? So we have to make sure that we are associating with those people who are going to help to bring us further, and who also you can impact as well. Because you might be the strong one in your friend group. There is nothing wrong with that. But if you have a friend group that is just closed-minded and has no interest in growing or leveling up or learning about different cultures, different beliefs, all that kind of thing, then that's not helping you. Because you want to make sure that even if you are the strong one, that you have people that are willing to grow with you, that you can bring along with you. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to just be the one growing, and then they're just there and they're like, hey, come back down here with us. Like, nah. So you want to make sure that the people that you're associating with, even if they may not be Christian or of the same denomination, because you could be Christian but not Seventh-day Adventist, or not, whatever other denomination, but make sure that you guys have similar core principles. And I mentioned before, finding a club, a faith-based club to join. But guys, you could start your own. Like, let's be change makers. You can go start your own club. Like, and it might not necessarily have to be like an official club, but you and a group of your friends or a group of people that you know from church or something that's on the same campus can just decide that, hey, let's meet up at this time, let's do this together. And you never know, you might grow, you might be able to bring others along. You might be the change in your school. You never know. Okay, so find a way to find a community or start a community. Okay, and then the last tip I am going to share is to make sure that you are practicing balance. Because at the end of the day, school, all work no play makes Tom a dull boy, makes Jill a dull girl. Like, find some balance. Okay, we mentioned faith-based clubs. There are so many other clubs out there. Extracurricular activities, these are important. You want to make sure that you are not just focusing on the academics, but that you are focusing on the holistic man, because this is something that God is interested in. He doesn't just want us to just be solely focused on achieving these, accolades and these letters behind our names and all those stuff, but he actually wants us to have fun, guys. Like, That's what I've been trying to tell y'all over here. Like, the Christian lifestyle isn't boring. So please make sure you find time to have some fun. Make sure that you set routines. Like, y'all know I talk about developing planners all the time, you know, because it is so important to make sure that you have a routine that is going to make time for your spiritual growth. Y'all, my very disrespectful phone just told me I ran out of storage. So let's quickly wrap this up. But I was just saying, remember that we need to prioritize time for not just our spiritual growth, but also our academic growth and also our personal growth. All right, so find ways to make time for all these things. Ensure that you are spending time doing things that you love. Maybe even do your academic work in a fun space, you know, something that can join two things together and you're not just, you know, being all dull. At the end of it all, beauties, all you need to remember is that Jesus loves you, and so your responsibility is to go out and live like it, at home, at school, or at play. Bye, beauties.
Ain't nobody stopping my shine. They try to break me, try to take me out, but I got Jesus on my side.